Tonight on Newswatch, state leaders are honoring fallen Illinois State Police officers.
Also tonight, we'll have an update on the search for the coolest thing made in Illinois. Ben?
Colder air has settled in over central Illinois over the past 24 hours, 25 to 30 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. That rain will still be hanging around, and we're tracking yet another chance for some severe weather. This is Newswatch. Your Wednesday evening edition starts now.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection, commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.
The Coles County Sheriff's Office is investigating 4 separate suicide attempts from the weekend. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Matt Williamson.
And I'm Olivia Bennett. Here's what we know right now. The Sheriff's Office called the incidents highly unusual and concerning. Officials say the attempts were stopped and everyone involved was taken to local hospitals. They say at this time, all individuals are expected to recover. We'll follow this story as it develops. A man is in jail after an armed robbery in Effingham. Police say 20-year-old Nicholas Courtwright of Effingham robbed the Days Inn on Dam Run Court at knife point just after 10:30. Police say they used a drone to help capture that suspect Monday night. Law enforcement say they arrived quickly and used surveillance video and a canine unit to narrow down Courtwright's location. The Effingham County Sheriff's Department then deployed a drone and found Courtwright at a makeshift encampment in a wooded area behind the Booze Outlet showroom along the Avenue of Mid-America. Courtwright was arrested without further incident by the Effingham Police and the Illinois State Police. He faces charges of armed robbery and criminal trespassing and is being held at the Effingham County Jail. Staying in Effingham, the case of a man arrested after a shots fired call is headed to grand jury. Police announced last week they arrested 19-year-old Camden Evans along with a 16-year-old after they found the two were shooting at a target with a stolen gun. Records show Evans appeared in court this morning on weapons charges, and those records show the matter is to be presented to a grand jury later this month. The records also show Evans has been ordered released from jail and into electronic home confinement.
Macon County authorities arrest 2 men for theft. On Monday, Macon County deputies were called to Forsyth's abandoned AMC Theater at Hickory Point Mall for a reported burglary in progress. Officers entered the building where they say they found 2 men stealing copper pipes, breaker boxes, and other building materials. 43-year-old Michael Large and 40-year-old Kelsey Sandage were taken into custody and charged with damage to property, burglary, and possession of burglary tools. Authorities say the 2 admitted to taking items at least 4 times over the past few weeks. Both were taken to the Macon County Jail where they were eventually released. The first court date is April 14th. A 3-story apartment building catches fire in Champaign. Now last night, the Champaign Fire Department responded to a multi-family apartment building in the 2000 block of West John Street. On arrival, fire crews saw fire coming from a 1st-story balcony and spreading to other floors. Firefighters say they put out the fire quickly by extending multiple hose lines to keep the fire contained. There were no injuries reported, but officials say 1 person will be displaced. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Good evening and happy April to all of you watching this evening. Temperatures were a little bit on the cooler side today. Mostly cloudy skies over a lot of our viewing area today. It's a fairly rainy past 24 hours as well. Nearly 2 inches of rain was our highest total indicator. A little less than half of an inch here in Charleston and in Paris. Most of the heaviest of that rain was up to the north and to the northwest. Temperatures for our highs today were up into the 60s, though that is a little bit misleading due to some cooler air moving in overnight last night. These were actually at midnight last night, our highest temperatures. Our temperatures were really in the mid-50s around Charleston today. The latest report from the Coles County Airport around 55 degrees for our high. Area conditions right now are right at that 55 degrees. under some mostly cloudy skies. Those clouds won't be letting up, and we're expecting more rain as we move overnight. We'll have the full forecast in about 5 minutes. For now, Olivia, back to you.
Thanks, Ben. In other news, officials are revealing their latest work to honor Illinois State Police troopers who have died in the line of duty. The Illinois State Police Office, the Illinois State Police Heritage Foundation, the Illinois Department of Transportation, and the Illinois Tollway gathered today to announce improvements to ISP officer memorial signs along Illinois roadways. ISP Director Brendan Kelly says the state has been creating memorial signs for officers following their passing over the years, but they realize that there are not signs for every fallen officer. That's why officials say they're creating a memorial for each trooper who has passed in the line of duty, including a standardized uniform design.
It takes a special person to be a police officer, running toward danger when everyone is running away from it. And the willingness they have, that you all have, that you our officers are here with us today, to put your life on the line day in, day out, not knowing that what you will face and if you will come home that night.
The General Assembly started passing resolutions designating certain stretches of highways as memorialized spots for ISP officers killed in the line of duty in 2011. Locally, signs will be added in Piatt, Richland, Moultrie, Champaign, Sangamon, Effingham, and Macon counties. In Decatur, drivers may expect delays due to road construction. City officials say contractors will be patching pavement on South Franklin Street Road from Enlow Drive to East Grove Road. They say that will mean intermittent lane closures from now till April 10th. Drivers are advised to slow down, use caution through the work zone, and to seek an alternative route.
A local community is working to improve communication between police officers and drivers with autism. Yesterday, Monticello Police and the Piatt County Mental Health Center announced the Blue Envelope program to kick off Autism Acceptance Month. Officials say drivers with autism in the Monticello area can pick up a blue envelope to give to officers during a traffic stop. They say the envelopes will contain important information about how the officer can best communicate with the driver, contact information for a support person, and other important documents. Envelopes can be picked up for free from the Piatt Mental Health Center, Monticello Police Department, Monticello Municipal Building, or Allerton Public Library. The city of Monticello says drivers do not need to register or show proof of diagnosis. And as the NCAA Final Four brings big energy this weekend, University of Illinois police are outlining their plan to keep celebrations safe. Officers are preparing for large crowds and increased activity across campus. Police say they will have a strong presence on the ground, working with emergency management, fire, EMS, and campus partners to respond quickly if needed. Captain Jason Bradley tells us more details on how the department is preparing to keep celebrations safe.
Yeah, so we've got a plan in place to have officers on the ground, and we're also making contingency plans in case we do have a bigger incident. Obviously, continuing to liaison with our local partners so that we can have a coordinated response for not just the incident we're managing right now, but as the incident could grow or if we have bigger problems, we've got plans in place.
Police say this game means a bigger plan with more coordination and more resources in place. They also say the goal is to keep people safe while still allowing them to celebrate responsibly. They are urging students to stay in groups, limit alcohol consumption, and look out for each other. Well, the NCAA tournament isn't the only fierce competition advancing to its next round. The annual Makers Madness competition, run by the Illinois Manufacturers Association, has narrowed more than 100 products down to just 8 finalists after nearly 57,000 votes. The goal is to choose the coolest product made here in Illinois. The remaining products range from everyday items like Kinder Bueno to high-tech innovations like a NASA initiator and a Boeing drone aircraft. Voting is now open for the next round through April 5th, with winners advancing each week. The final product will be crowned April 15th at the Governor's Mansion in Springfield. Well, Olivia, hopefully someone in Illinois is making umbrellas.
I sure hope so. Ben, can we expect a break from this rain anytime soon?
Well, Olivia, I hate to rain on your parade, pun definitely intended. We've got more rain coming in overnight tonight, and if you look off to the west, our next shift in this weather system, what you can expect with that right after this.
A high-speed chase of a stolen Bud Light truck turned into a beer bust when the suspect plowed into a deputy's vehicle, ending the pursuit. According to the Vanderburgh County Sheriff's Department, the beer truck was reported stolen out of Evansville, Indiana, while the suspect was allegedly drunk. Body cam video shows a deputy deploying a stop stick ahead of the boosted truck, prompting the suspect to avoid that lane and instead plow into the deputy's vehicle, bringing the chase to an end in a field. The Sheriff's Department said the suspect refused to exit the truck, so deputies fired pepper balls into the cab until he got out. He was then arrested and is now facing a slew of charges, including attempted murder. The deputy who jumped clear of the bulldozing beer truck was uninjured. His patrol unit, not so much, and he later described his close call. And from the Super Bowl of policing to the holy grail of sci-fi collectibles. That's what one Star Wars fan paid over $1 million for when this original light-up C-3PO head from The Empire Strikes Back came to auction. According to Prop Store Auction House, the head is an original used in the iconic 1980 film featuring light-up eyes and original wiring, and is believed to be the only one of its type on the collector's market. A bidder busted auction expectations of between $350 and $700 grand, shelling out over $1 million for the decapitated droid's dome. Hey, in the collectibles game, it's not who you know, it's what you own. So sometimes to get ahead, it pays to get ahead. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Before we get to tonight's forecast, we wanted to share another opportunity for weather spotter training. The Piatt County Emergency Management Agency is hosting a training session tonight at the Monticello High School Auditorium. The agency says the event will go over how to identify, document, and report severe weather. The event runs from 6:30 to 8:30 this evening. No previous experience is needed, and the event is open to the public. Well, those skills for storm spotting and reporting that severe weather may be coming in handy for some of us across the state of Illinois. More severe storms are on their way. We'll get to that in just a moment. Today, though, the rain has finally started to push off to the east for now. We're seeing some drier conditions right now, but still under those mostly cloudy skies. High temperatures today were up into the mid to upper 60s for some of us, but that is a little bit misleading. These temperatures occurred at midnight this morning. Temperatures today for our highs actually a little bit closer to the mid 50s here for a lot of east central Illinois. Overnight tonight, we'll see these temperatures staying in the 50s, right at 50 degrees for our low here in Charleston. The rain will start to lighten up and we'll be left with a drier start to your Thursday, but the winds are shifting. They're currently coming in from the east, shifting from the south and intensifying throughout the daytime tomorrow. So much so, in fact, that we are going to be placed under a wind advisory from the National Weather Service. You can see that in this tan beige color here. For all of our counties in the viewing area, save apart for Effingham down to the southwest. This is for wind gusts that could get closer to 45 miles an hour, could potentially be stronger in some places as we get throughout our day tomorrow. You can see that here, wind gusts right now, winds generally fairly calm. Though will start to strengthen as we move throughout the overnight hours. By sunrise tomorrow, wow, 50 degrees coming in from the south. Those winds are just going to keep getting stronger throughout the day. Nearly 50 to 55 miles an hour as we get towards sunset tomorrow. You can start to see the cold front making its way in. That's going to be bringing us our next chance for severe weather tomorrow evening. For your high tomorrow, temperatures back on the warmer side for this time of year, 71 degrees here in Charleston. You do note that drier start to your Thursday, but then towards the noon hours, those rains will start to be back in. A little bit sporadic for some of us, particularly towards the eastern half, a little bit less rainfall, but will start to gradually pick up throughout the daytime and towards that chance for severe weather and some evening thunderstorms to move into our Friday. And timing this out for you right now on our Futurecast, you can start to see those showers lightening up a little bit towards sunrise. We are expecting a little bit of heavier showers towards the northwest of our viewing area. Again, a little bit drier for our start of our morning for Thursday, but those rains will be right back into the skies above by the early afternoon hours on Thursday. But it's really towards the evening hours and overnight into Friday as this cold front pushes through where we could expect the strongest storms, some of which could be severe, especially to the northwest of our viewing area. By around 1 a.m. Friday morning, these showers and storms mainly across our viewing area pushing off and will be out of our area by sunrise on Friday. Now, we are expecting some stronger storms to the northwest under an enhanced risk. That's at a level 3 out of 5 for the northwest of our area, really around the I-72 corridor, especially areas around Macon, Piatt, and Champaign counties. A slight risk further away to that, and for the southeast of our viewing area, a little bit less of a marginal risk. But generally speaking, we could expect some damaging wind gusts upwards of 70 miles an hour as the system moves through. Hail could be closer to an inch or greater than that in diameter, and especially towards the northwest, chances for possible tornadoes and some tornadic activity across the viewing area. Now, towards the southeast, these effects are going to be felt a little bit less, but especially towards northwestern Illinois, really going to be expecting some stronger storms throughout the daytime tomorrow. Now, as we look at our rain projections right now, these have come down a little bit from where they were, but still around 3/4 of an inch for a lot of us, a little bit less towards the southeast. Around 4/10 of an inch here in Charleston, around 1/2 an inch in Robinson. These temperatures are finally going to start to cool off, and towards Easter Sunday back near the mid-50s, but finally dry, which we couldn't really say about the month of March. 6 inches of rain here in Charleston, nearly doubled our average total for the month of March. It was a warm one too for the month of March, over 10 degrees higher than the 30-year average for Charleston. Looking ahead for the rest of the 7-day forecast, temperatures are going to start to drop off a little bit for the weekend. Chances for rain Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but again, finally getting drier for your Easter Sunday. Temperatures around 52 degrees for your Easter. A little bit cooler towards the start of next work week, but finally starting to warm back up. So we do have some drier conditions in the future. We just got to make it a few more days of this rain.
Well, Ben, I definitely want to say thank you for keeping us up to date with that severe weather, man. We'll be sure to keep looking at the forecast over the next couple of days for sure.
That's true. We are lucky to have a forecaster like Ben Whitney.
Thank you.
And we're also lucky to have a sportscaster like Pierce Lehman. Pierce, tell us a little bit about what is going on in the sports world right now.
Thanks, Olivia. Tonight in sports, the Eastern Illinois softball team looks to continue their impressive win streak. Can they make it a month without losing? Also, all 3 local MLB teams are in action today. How did they all do for their second series finale? I'll have the answer next. Thanks for watching. WEIU Sports Watch Report is coming up.
After a significantly severe tick season last year, experts are bracing for another year of this growing threat as familiar trends are being tracked.
We expect this season to be likely worse than last year, or definitely not much better.
Nicole Baumgarth with Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says last May there was a 30% rise over the previous year in emergency room visits for tick-borne illnesses. She says it's due to a warming climate and expanding tick population. To protect against ticks, Baumgarth says to use bug spray and wear permethrin-treated clothing that covers your skin.
You want to have long-sleeved, long pants, be a little doggy and put your trousers into your socks, wear a hat.
After being outdoors, Baumgarth says to do body checks and take a hot shower. She says ticks that haven't attached can easily wash off. And if you do find one on your body, carefully remove it. And she says to place it in a plastic bag in the refrigerator in case you start to develop tick-borne illness symptoms 3 to 30 days after a tick bite. That can include fever, chills, headache, fatigue, muscle and joint aches, and swollen lymph nodes. With Lyme disease, there may also be a rash like this that looks like a target or bullseye. She says Lyme disease transmission from the tick takes about 2 days after it attaches itself.
So you have some time, and that's why it's not recommended to go and see the doctor immediately after you found the tick, particularly if you just came in from a hike or something.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Eastern Illinois softball has been lights out recently, holding a 15-game win streak. But now they head east to play the Sycamores of Indiana State. This game was tied at nothing until the 6th when Indiana State notched 3 runs, which was too much for the Panthers to overcome. The Sycamores out-hit EIU 5-2 as ISU improves to 18-16 on the year, while the Panthers dropped to 20-17, losing their first losing their first game since March 1st. Looking ahead, Eastern will be back at home for a 3-game series against UT Martin starting on Friday. Now we turn to baseball as the St. Louis Cardinals split the first 2 games versus the New York Mets. Can they take the series win? This game is a pitcher's duel. Both Freddie Peralta and Matthew Liberatore only let up 1 run. Even after both pitchers left, it stayed 1-1 until the 11th when Mason Wynn got a bloop hit to score the winning run. The Cardinals take this game 2-1 and now move to 4-2 on the young season. Next up for the Redbirds, they'll be traveling to Detroit to take on the Tigers on Friday at 12. The Chicago Cubs look to get their first series win of the year as they take on the LA Angels in a rubber match. This game was scoreless until the 3rd when the Cubs got hot, scoring 5 runs, including a Nico Horner double to start the rally. Matthew Boyd had an impressive day, going 5 2/3 inning, only allowing 1 run. The Cubs win this one 6-2 and now move to 3-3 on the year and will look to improve that record Friday when they travel to Cleveland to take on the Guardians at 3. The Chicago White Sox have hit a few speed bumps to start the season, but can they turn around against the Miami Marlins? Liam Hicks is on it first for Miami, scoring his 9th RBI on the young season and the first run of the game. Get out the deep seas fishing gears because the Marlins are biting today. It's Hicks again, this time hitting a 2-run shot. It's 6-0 Miami. 2 more score for the Marlins, but we finally get a White Sox highlight as Javier Sanoja is stuck in a pickle. It's back and forth until the Sox finally get him out. And for the cherry on top, Sandy Alcantara notches his 13th career complete game, only allowing just 3 hits. It won't be enough as the Finns win this one 10-0. The White Sox drop to 1-5 on the season, and up next, they'll come home for their home opener against the Toronto Blue Jays. As the rain continues to fall, a local high school track meet has been canceled. The Big Trojan track meet at Charleston High School has been called off, according to Athletic Secretary Kari Dedmon. She says, out of caution for all of our athletes, volunteers, and faculty, it is wise to cancel the meet. The University of Illinois Police Department made sure to send the Fighting Illini men's basketball team off in style. The Orange and Blue officially hit the road for Indianapolis today for the Final Four round of the NCAA tournament. This is the first time since 2005 that the Fighting Illini have made the Final Four, and before 2005, 1989 was the last time Illinois made it this far. The Illini will tip off from Lucas Oil Stadium just after 5 on Saturday against the Yukon Huskies, with the winner advancing to the national championship. Finally tonight, Tiger Woods announced on X that he will be stepping away from golf to seek treatment. This comes days after he was arrested on suspicion of DUI and refusal to submit a lawful test stemming from a rollover crash in Florida. Well, that's all for sports. Olivia, Matt, back to you.
He returns with a final check of the Skywatch forecast.
But first, a team of astronauts have begun their journey around the moon. Here's a live look. We'll have an update on the Artemis mission. Thanks for watching. This is Newswatch on WEIU.
Watch Christina, Reed, Victor, and Jeremy on their way now to the moon in Earth's orbit and awaiting the next in-flight milestones, deploying Orion's solar arrays. So why don't we get back in with Mission Control and Gary.
Crypto and I at least had each other. Honestly, I thought we were lucky. But luck, almost by definition, runs out.
Kara Zor-El has just days to save her dog Crypto and anyone else she can in the new trailer for Supergirl. Millie Alcock and Jason Momoa star in the superhero flick, flying into theaters June 26th.
Is this your last shift?
For a while, yeah.
Healthcare workers can see the season 2 finale of The Pit early in theaters. Warner Brothers and Alamo Drafthouse are teaming for special screenings around the U.S. on Monday, April 13th, before it streams on the 16th. Search The Pit at drafthouse.com for more info.
Come up to the lab and see what's on the slab.
50 years ago Wednesday, a New York theater began midnight showings of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and a phenomenon was born. To mark the anniversary, the documentary Strange Journey, the story of Rocky Horror, is returning to theaters, starting April 24th in New York and then expanding to more cities in May. Doing the time warp in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Finally tonight, humans are on their way around the moon for the first time in more than 50 years. Artemis 2 launched just before 5:30 our time. Here's a live look from NASA. The crews of 3 Americans and 1 Canadian are expected to pass around the far side of the moon and travel 4,000 to 6,000 miles above the moon's surface. That's the furthest that humans have ever traveled. The crew is then expected to return to Earth, splashing down off the U.S. West Coast. Well, right now you'll be pleased to hear that NASA says all is well. According to NASA, the spacecraft should have already reached the core stage main engine cutoff, and the core stage should have separated from the interim cryogenic propulsion stage. Now, wow, that's a lot of words. That essentially means that Artemis 2 should be shedding all the rockets and boosters that help it reach space and entering its final spacecraft form. Well, you know what? Ben Whitney, tell us a little bit about the weather.
Well, it's going to be a very rainy next 7 days, Olivia. 71 degrees for our high tomorrow. We'll see storms starting to move in Thursday night and into Friday. We're under an enhanced risk for portions of our viewing area that could bring some pretty severe risks across the viewing area. Temperatures will start to cool off over the weekend, but then back towards the upper 50s by the start of next work week.
Well, you know what? I'm definitely happy to hear it, and it sounds like we have some good luck weather for Artemis.
Absolutely. Well, that's actually going to do it for us here tonight on News Watch. Thank you for joining us. Have a good rest of your night.
Give us just 1 minute. And Stan, you can read it like it's ready to go.
Roger. Keep your handover east to west, expected 1 second earlier at 5-1.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street. The Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection. Commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.